My name is Jack Brewer. I'm a former National Football League player. Currently, I'm the CEO of the Brewer Group Companies, which is a global advisory firm that manages various companies from across the world. I met Dodd probably 7 years ago as I was ending my career in the National Football League. Um, I met him along with Barry Green, my best friend, and trained with him on several occasions. I would describe Dodd as a man of really true powerful character and motivation. I mean, he's really, to be honest with you, unlike any human being that I've ever met. Um, his will it just pours out of him, and he naturally motivates you just being around him. And oftentimes, I think about some of the lessons that he's taught me. Uh, just during his training sessions. It's more about um, what he's doing to your body and to your soul than really doing what he's really doing to you physically. So, the workout session is just part of it. I mean, he wraps in being a mentor and a role model, all in the same time, and it's a pretty incredible experience to actually work out with him. Dodd also, one of the strongest things about Dodd is how he carries his faith with him each and every day. Some people that you meet who may be people of faith don't necessarily always carry that, with them in everything that they do. Dodd doesn't care where he is, who he's talking to. Uh, you know, he always gives glory to God, and he always um, uses things to allow you to know that God really has affected him, and he tells his story and he tells it with passion, and you know that it's real. I mean, he's one of the few people that you meet that you really you can't really doubt anything that he says. I mean, it's so pure, and it comes from so down deep inside that it's motivational. I mean, physically, Dodd is like no other human that I've ever met. I mean, to watch a man who can, jump into a river and wrestle, alligators, and he can hold his breath for, you know, 7 or 8 minutes. It's almost inhuman. And so, when you're around him, particularly when you're working out with him physically, some of the things he's able to do, at 50 years old, is truly amazing. I mean, I played in the National Football League with and against some of the strongest men in the world, and I'd put Dodd against any of them. And we've also had one experience with Dodd that I brought actually one of my close friends, Patrick Chuck Worrell, who's probably the strongest pound for pound person that I know, and he had a lot of difficulty keeping up with Dodd. And so it's just that will and that he brings with him each and every day. I mean, no matter if it's just a workout, everything that he does is at a high level. And it's something that, for a professional athlete like myself, was motivational to see. It's just because even at my level, Dodd takes it to a whole nother realm of working out and realm of mental capacity. I mean, I don't know if the guy even feels pain. It's pretty incredible. I think Dodd has so much success in really making people champions and really getting the best out of people for one simple reason, because he lives it and does it himself. And so, it's one thing to have a trainer or have a mentor or a role model who influences you through talking and through what they say and through words. It's another thing to actually see it and perform it alongside them. And that's what Dodd brings to the table. I mean, he'll do every rep with you. The whole time he's giving you motivational talks and speeches and really true life lessons. And so, when you get on the field, you can reflect back to some of the things that Dodd has told you. You remember, how he pulled a truck right next to you. And you remember how he pulled a sled right next to you and paddled across a river when his shoulders were burning. Like all those things, are lasting in your head. and he's so creative. I mean, he comes up with some of the, a lot of my workouts today are a direct reflection of Dodd. The training philosophies that he has. Really, it's just something special. Dodd really affected my life a lot as I was making my transition. I transitioned from the National Football League and retired in 2007. And during that time, I was spending a lot of time with Dodd. Um, and it's always tough as an athlete, going turning the page, particularly when you've had an injury-plagued career. And Dodd really taught me how to train, and he taught me how to use my mental capacity. And when he calls you brother and he pushes you, Dodd could always look into my eye. And from day one that I met him, he knew I was a hard worker. He knew he could really push me to the max. And he told me, you're strong, brother. You're strong-willed. And so just watching someone like Dodd, being a person like that, I was a captain on 3 football teams. I played for 4 teams, but I was a captain on 3. And so I was always a leader. And, I was always the guy leading the pack. And so I wasn't really used to having someone who could motivate me above and beyond what I could motivate myself. And Dodd was one of the first people in my life that I've experienced who was able to do that. And so just seeing someone who used their faith to really push themselves mentally, it made it real for me. Because at the time, you know, in my personal faith, I had a lot of doubts. And I was having doubts and unsure about different things. And, when you meet Dodd in his presence, his presence with God and presence with the higher being, it really came out of him. And so that reflected on me. And it really brought a lot of closure and answered a lot of questions for me personally. Hearing his story about some of the things that he went to, being personal with him, being at his home, meeting his wife, Sabrina, and his daughter, and being able to hear their story about his daughter being sick and how his faith came and helped pull her through. It really affected me, and it's something that I carry with me every day, and I'll always be thankful for Dodd for that.